My name is Elizabeth Momo. Front page comes up at 11 a.m. from Mondays to Fridays. And in the program, we review and analyze stories, findings, and events from our daily local tabloids across the country. Viewers, be reminded the views of guests are not the views of AYV. And to start this morning, the show, let's start with our own newspaper, AYV newspaper, which is just for 2 Leones. On the front page of AYV newspaper, we have US DFC approves $150 million loan for Freetown International Airport expansion. President Putin congratulates President Bio on his re-election. African ambassadors to Sierra Leone pledged support, congratulate President Bio on his re-election. We assure you of our fullest support to your Feed Salon Manifesto commitment. Farmers assure President Bio congratulates him on his re-election. Now, away from that is the Awoko newspaper. And on the front page, we have Akisoya, mayor-elect drags Arata to court for alleged malicious damage. Judiciary responds to APC allegations. Young, 27 years, IPAM student, is female parliamentarian-elect. Ex-military officer born from a family of 30, elected mayor of Makeni. Away from the Awoko newspaper is the satellite newspaper, and on the front page we have, as they call on external factors to demoralize state institutions, President Bio warns party leaders. As he congratulated Yvonne Akisoya wholeheartedly, Mohammed Gento Kamara exhibits leadership qualities. This and more on the satellite newspaper. Now, over to the exclusive newspaper. On the front page we have no faith in the judiciary. APC says no court action. Presidential parliamentary mayoral chairperson, councillor results unacceptable. President Bio, let's go back to work. Alpha Khan pleads, please accept results. Now to the Premier News newspaper. Mayor drags Arata to court. President Akufo-Addo congratulates Bio on re-election. Challenges on polling day did not affect outcome from the Bar Association. Coach and player receive 4-match ban. Now away from Premier News, we have the Global Times newspaper, and the front page reads, African Union declares elections were peaceful, transparent and credible. Re-election victory. World leaders line up to congratulate President Bio. African ambassadors congratulates President Bio. This and more on the Global Times newspaper. Now, the A to Z newspaper has on its front page, political parties should refrain from violent hate speech. AU Elections Observer Mission report says. Alpha Khan admonishes Samura Kamara to accept defeat. Freetown mayor drags Arata to court for alleged malicious damage. I would defeat APC if another election is conducted, President Bio tells women's groups. This and more on the A to Z newspaper. Now over to the Standard Times newspaper. On its front page, we have APC will not go to court, SecGen reveals. Paramount chiefs demand more powers. PC Sonsiama III. Now from Standard Times newspaper, we go to Voice of Diaspora newspaper, and on its front page, Ben Kaifala reappointed ACC commissioner. Tribal heads congratulate President Bio, VP Julde. Land Alliance, Amnesty International call for land tribunal. Capacity building endeavor, Sierra Leone joins 14 countries in ICC umpire tutors calls in Harare. And lastly, to the Future Media newspaper. On its front page, we have, as Abdullahi Kolka maintains security during polls, citizens and international community commend ONS boss. NACIT DG congratulates President Bio. Now to actually start off the conversation, even though we'll be joined by another guest I already have in the studio, or I get with me at the studio today, Imran Sillah, a strategic communications person from the Ministry of Information and Communication. Morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Okay, so we still just like 10 days away, I think, from the June 24th elections. And so they go through some of the reflections we happened through that. And from the front page of the Future Media, we're actually one for starts with, They say, as Abdullahi Kwakwa maintained security during polls, citizens and international community commend ONS boss. So I actually want to read a bit of it. Say thanks to the office of the ONS, headed by its erudite and hardworking National Security Coordinator, Abdullahi Kwakwa, with assistance from his energetic and relentless team of professionals. Sierra Leone's general elections were fair, free, transparent, credible, and peaceful. It could be recalled that on 11th May 2023, the Office of National Security, headed by Abdullahi Kwakwa, launched 2 dedicated election secretariats, the National Situation Room and the Integrated Election Security Planning Committee, which during the electoral period worked jointly with other electoral management bodies to provide credible information to the public and consult with relevant authorities to address potential acts of violence before, during, and after the June 24, 2023 multi-tier elections. Now, generally, with regards to the security towards the elections we just end, what's now you comment on that, and how you see the process and having the security sector, especially headed by the Office of the National Security, how then go about security during the elections and even post-elections?
Thank you again. So we know, say, the security sector always gets a responsibility for elections. Like every other institution, we get a part for play during general elections. Every one panel institution and they're supposed to draw the experience from which they unfold at that material point in time, or they also get to draw the experience from looking back at previous elections, because not only the first one, this way ONS don't be part of and involved in. So going back to the experience in 2018, the experience in 2012, reading the manuals, then it helps you to be in a better position for the next election. And then we also get master sabi people with the ONS and the security sector at this material point in time for feed from their experience then and for able for plan better, and that make we see a lot of people, they commend them for the way they conduct the elections and the way they carry themselves during the process and even post. So I think, say, at least for once, we get something good for say for the security sector, because all the time that we see any report or anybody to comment, it's nothing commendable, not anything where then probably go celebrate, even though they know so then they do their best and they try for protect lives and property, where ultimately not another responsibility. But for once, I think it gives them a feel-good factor that they did something right, at least based on perception and from the majority of people who observe the elections, and therefore then commend them. I hope say then go note this wire down for subsequent elections then, but then also in terms of them daily operations going forward, so that the mindset and the perception now in society, but the security sector as a whole go change.
Okay. Also, we can come over to the AYV newspaper. We actually get on the front page. We assure you of a fuller support to your Feed Salon manifesto commitment. So before we delve into this, firstly, the president, one of in promises in a manifesto, actually, they talk about Feed Salon. And we can able to talk a bit about food security, how important can they be for Salon?
Very, very important. Now one pandemic sector that we get, which you could call rippling impacts across so many things on the economy, with desire and demand for the dollar, foreign exchange, we ultimately go bring stability, right, to the Leones, on the ability for provide employment for citizens of the Republic. Because the most recent data will actually include, now the manifesto clearly suggests 65% of this population can potentially get employment, right, from agriculture. So I think it's very important. But then we don't argue during the elections at every given opportunity to get the SLPPR them, but what would you, I mean, when I invite you to them platforms there, I don't say we are not starting from zero. There's already a baseline as to which we don't do in a period of 5 years. So if you watch the manifesto, it tells you we want to consolidate the gains whilst we accelerate development. And one of the areas that we want to accelerate development now in terms of agriculture. Within that baseline there, we get 15 machineries right now. We get about 410 tractors across the country. And there's a private element to run. So it is called a public-private partnership element in the machineries there, right? We're located, right, across the country. We also, if you look at which we don't bring back now, now be 1.1 metric tons, now 1.78 over a period of 5 years. As of 2022, the data was 900 metric tons in terms of which we plow back. So, I mean, it should say, excuse me, it should say we don't get a lot right in agriculture. Which His Excellency the President they do now in terms of in structures, systems, make sure they escalate them to the highest level, the office of the President, but then also with regards to budgetary commitments, we say we go up to 10%. Now people ask the question, whose side of money did it come on? We already do 22% on free quality education. We're doing around 11 to 12% on healthcare. Whose side of money did it come on? It is coming from the budget. But what it does significantly is this. Once you get to 10%, which is sort of the international benchmark for nation states, then developing nations, then for investing in agriculture, it opens up not a window of opportunity, it opens up a door of opportunities with regards to multilateral and bilateral partners for meeting their threshold and how then self-capable for get involved and be part of the process. You see, and that's the aspiration of His Excellency the President. So far, we don't see him. Since they announced the results, since the taking oath of office, right, and now starting second term as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, he has been having a lot of engagements, right? It's called a flurry of activities on agriculture, on healthcare, on education, and all that, on peace and national cohesion, on the stability of the nation. And I shall say in the coming days and weeks and months, we will see His Excellency the President they crystallize then thoughts, then visions and aspirations, now the manifesto, into something tangible as a work plan going forward. Right? And I shall say at that point we will know, say, President Julius Maada Bio is serious and passionate about agriculture as he was in education for his first term. That will see the gains that we'll make in education, and I'm sure we'll see equal, if not more, gains in agriculture for in second term as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. If we get it right, ultimately it means 65% of the population will get employment. Don't forget another component of the manifesto, they talk about jobs. 100,000 jobs per year. So it's a total of about 500,000 jobs, right, over a period of 5 years.
So you actually think we go reach to a point, Salon go actually reach to a point where it go able for grow and eat waiting it go?
So again, I talked to during the campaign, because you see a manifesto, you know it requires a lot of thought process, right? I mean, a lot of technical input and all the rest of it. What made me get for do for my own consumption was to get back to the technical experts in the Ministry of Agriculture for just get a sense as to whose side and day and what are the chances with the manifesto. Now, one of them actually points out to me that at the height of COVID, one of the reasons that we now run out of rest in this country, in as much as the Bank of Sierra Leone through the Ministry of Finance been provide some buffer for people who import essential commodities and make sure, I think it was about $50 million US. But then also, as at that point, local production, local yield would also increase to about 900,000 metric tons, as I say. That was why we were able to sustain with it, because some of the rest and they were actually homegrown and produced in Sierra Leone. You ask if it is realistic. I think it's a realistic prospect, and I think it's a realistic achievement. And if we get all of the components right, getting the structures right, getting the necessary technical support and expertise around and led by His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, I think we'll be able for, at the moment, I think it's about 160 million, right, worth of rest now the import. Fancy, in 2018, it was about 210, 20 million. So we don't shed a few $1 million off, which is a good place to be. But not today we actually need for this. So if we shade off in 5 years, let's say another 50, 60, 70, 80, or 100 million, you can imagine the implications. More jobs, less demand for the dollar, and then we don't begin for the grow we own. I mean, we're doing so right now with oil, by the way, paddy oil. Yes. With the producer to a point where the exporter to countries there. So it go Senegal, it go Gambia, I think it go Ivory Coast, and even neighboring Guinea. That is because His Excellency the President gets a broad vision on agribusiness and agriculture and industries. Now that make we forget to that point there. So I just will see the same passion and energy from President Bill in his second term on agriculture. And I think say not only a matter of time before probably they can get in discussion there and they talk about achievements and things that way it don't do and how it don't set the tone right and get the direction right on agriculture. So
because during the first time we actually don't see the free quality education. So now coming to food security and all as one of the key achievements for this second term where they aim towards. You think there will be a win?
Win?
Yes, there will be a win with the food security. Is the education at a point where you go say this now a win for the first time, and so moving on to the second, we're going to be able to achieve this?
So on education, every single data we're available, both locally, internationally, civil society organization, they are within at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education, quite clearly they show significant improvement. Let me take our minds back. I grew up at a time when I mean, we were primary school and secondary school, centered or secondary school. At a time we're not picking the way they medicare for the pay school fee for. Even for sit there exams, then they, right? Some families then get for be generous and kind for pay. Then 10 and they na be GCO and A levels, 9 in day. And also know a lot of friends then will drop out of school and some they do security work now. And not of us say them get sense past them all. Right, because somehow we'll be able to pay their own parents there, nobody not be able for them for help them. They ended up turning security staff at the city around. I don't think so you could say that is the case now. So that alone is a milestone. It's an achievement that every young person, where they attempt public exams, they do so at the expense of government. And it's not only that, you also get one more opportunity. So if you fail at the first instance, you also have another opportunity for taking public exams then there. If you look at entrance into primary school across district, it's about 80% and above across every single district. That was not the case. If you look at transition rates from primary to secondary, then they also significantly go up. But which I think say you could be excited about now also the retention level of girl picking them, girl child where they get access, because I mean down the your constituency, it don't go up significantly. Now with the see girls them, they get equal pass like boy picking them, completion rate also. So we have achieved a lot in education. Now that make the manifesto the talk say, we need for consolidate all of them gains then they, whilst we focus on other things them. So whoever come in as the Minister for Basic and Senior Secondary School, now how for cross the T's and dot the I's, make sure so all the bolts and knots them, right, they in place for firmly able for continuing this trajectory on education whilst with the focus. Yes, I think say, look, everything we don't see in the manifesto, and from talking to the technical experts then, on agriculture, I still think say it's doable, right? Otherwise, His Excellency the President not going to include in our manifesto. It is doable, it is achievable. We will see His Excellency the President, the start Tkanga one on agriculture, and then we're going to say him in business.
Okay, so just like how you mentioned, with regards to free quality education, one of the things that we push forward for, say, girl picking themselves, go able for day in school and all. So on the front page of our newspaper, we actually get young 27 years IPAM student sorry, is female parliamentarian-elect. Freetown Serodun. In a society historically dominated by older male politicians, young women are defying stereotypes and paving the way for a more inclusive and diverse political landscape. One such inspirational figure is Siama Hawa Habia Matomi of the Serodun People's Party, who at age 27 became one of the youngest elected members of parliament. And I actually find out, say, like now two of them, actually we get one winner at 26 and one winner at 27. Firstly, for see the large inclusion of women first in the 6th parliament, what did that mean to you?
On a lighter note, if you be done consult early, I mean, for don't say like quit this job and probably for don't the parliaments now, you know, at the age they are. Yeah, but then something also interesting for note. In the last parliament, it was about 12.2% of women. Now we have about 27.5% of women in a parliament. All because of one signature from His Excellency the President and the gender law. every party be now get a responsibility for make sure so they follow through on within the law of the land, and include women there for go parliament. And therefore, we see a lot more women then go. So, I mean, this is not surprising. You know, in the what you could call in the madness of the moment, elections and all the explanations and counter-explanation and all the negativity and contrived outrage where people then they try for push forward. Then beautiful stories there didn't get lost in it all. Now that things don't seem for the simmer, it don't calm down. We are seeing that there are a lot of upsides to these elections in terms of women, them, age, you know, and I should say then go bring a lot of good things to Parliament, right? Then go for contribute, then bring that feminine touch, that compassion, that love to the issues there and the bills that will get for the rich them. So I think, say, you know, that is where we need to go as Sierra Leoneans. It is called it in positive discrimination. Well,
also, what's in this mean for young people there as you know, Salone actually gets a very high percentage of youth population.
So you can go with your experience, what it mean for you. You see somebody age almost 27.
27,
yeah.
Yes, and there's another at 26.
They don't go parliament. I never had those opportunities. I mean, if I be done tall man sometime before, don't say, well, I'll go back in time at 26, 27, maybe I would have had a chance to get to parliament. But all of that is possible because President Bio set the right tone and the atmosphere, you know, protecting girl child, making sure so they get education, making sure so there's a law that protects them. We give them equal opportunities, like command them for able to compete for all of them jobs there, all of them positions there. And you know, when President will eventually announce the people that he want for work with him at the various places there, he also going to take the law into consideration. So we'll see across the board, we'll see a lot more women them in prominent positions, right? They help for push this country go before. What does it mean for a young person? You can better tell we, because relatively, I think they are slightly older than you. I'm being what they call now polite.
Okay.
Now, what it mean for you? How does it incentivize you? How it encourage you? How does it energize you, right, for achieve things in life, right, under this kind of atmosphere?
I'm not actually want to put the cat before the horse, but then let's also say, like, having this force before they actually get to work, yes, but what do you actually try for predict in the next 5 years? You think, say, we're going to get more young people taking up positions, whether it get to do with political and all?
Well, look, I think, say, young people generally get an opportunity. Nothing stops them now. They say if you aim for the sky, outside you fall at the mountain top. No, so, and that is still a beautiful place to be. So young people can get an opportunity, they can seize this moment. His Excellency the President passionate, right, about young people. All of them foundations that our President Bio delay, right, now for the next generation, the one that way they just being we, and the one that after that one day now, as to the kind of salon where they will get for meet and how themselves go for contribute. So we talk about tech-voc institutions, we're talking about middle-level manpower skill sets across the country. Every single district now get a tech-voc, right, with the exception of Alaba. I think that they're on the way. All of them things then they free quality education. How do we make it become a law? Put under the law books. So that any other government will come, if President Bio done in second term where he go, any other government will come. If now you yourself you don't have, you turn president after President Bio, you know it is now a law. Free quality education has to happen. Two is not about time. You get for make sure. So that's the kind of future we want. How do we bring a sense of security to free quality education? How do we bring a sense of security to things like maternal mortality and infant mortality and access to health care? How do we bring a sense of security when it comes to essential commodities and the economy more broadly? All the one indeed provide space and opportunities for young people.
You actually don't talk about maybe putting these things in policies or law or something. And I want to say, sometimes they will actually get beautiful laws as well. But you think the implementation will actually follow these laws that we have?
So if I can go back to a press conference where the Chief Minister, Jacob Jesus Safa, been held in a New Brookfield Hotel, and he been get what you could call journalists, publishers, station managers. I mean, it talk about a lot of things. And how do you make sure that no government will come and reverse some of them gains the gains of free quality education? How does it now become a law in the law books? Just like what we don't do with this gender one. the President Bill will get for sign. So no government, no, they can now, and can begin to say, no, we can't do 30%. You will not have to require a 2/3 majority, and even down there, all them there, including we, I mean, he for she, we all go up in arms. Say, no, you can't touch that aspect of the law. So once you're able to get them in black and white, and there's a lot to it on free quality education and all that then I think, say, you can't reverse trends. This is the 21st century. If you're able to provide them basics then right, for your country, for communities, for societies, then you don't have a place in 21st century. Now that makes His Excellency the President want to make sure, say, we get them things that are done, do the right things, make sure, say, if there's a possibility for put them into laws, yes, we get those done also. We're not for shy away for one hand, not about President Bill again. It's about the young people coming up, having access, the one that they're not born it so that they will come and know, say, they defend themselves in a society and a country, they have access to education, they have access to public exams, they get to be at the expense of government. You know, that's not the kind of mentality and future for they look forward to.
Okay, so now on the Premier News front page, we get challenges on polling day did not affect outcome from the Bar Association. And just a brief one, they say the Sierra Leone Bar Association has said in a statement on Monday that few challenges recorded during the just concluded multi-tier elections do not materially affect the outcome of the elections and held the view that the elections were free, fair, and largely peaceful. SLBA also reported that the elections were not heavily securitized, but the presence of security forces was visible and there were unarmed security personnel at polling stations and were responsive to potential breach of the electoral laws. The SLBA noted that the party agents were well represented in all polling stations and tally centers across the country. Though the SLBA notes that there were some isolated cases of strong disagreement, those differences were quickly resolved. The SLBA further observed that security personnel who were deployed in polling stations were not disadvantaged from voting, even when deployed in stations where they did not register. SLBA recommended that the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone should improve on logistics, planning to ensure early and effective distribution of election materials to designated polling stations. These will reduce late opening of polling stations. So this now being Bar Association, then comments, then they actually from the press release and all. So generally, again, we still talk about the elections. What was the outcome of the election?
Outcome as in?
When the conduct of it regarding the peacefulness at the atmosphere and all.
So I think we don't see both local organizations and international organizations, the political call the initial reports. Some have been slightly critical, others have been, but then commend also some of the things being done during the period. I think the Bar Association a nice summary of all of which we don't see unfold over time. That whatever may not have happened nor affect the outcome, and that they accept the outcome and feel, say, credible, free, fair, and transparent. And therefore, we need for no say, the initial thing there can come with a more solid report after 3 months. Everyone by an international organization, then after 3 months, we therefore come back now and say, this is our final report that they put forward. In 2012, they make over 100 recommendations. The previous government choose for ignore them. In fact, we don't gather dust by the time President Bill the Canapa in 2018. We pick the recommendations and they're up. Those are the EU and other institutions that report. We pick the reports and they're up, and we don't implement about 70% before these elections in 2023. That shows President Bill also passionate about deepening the democratic space for expander and make sure say people feel part of them, but then also get involved. Now that make way before implement 70% of them. When eventually then final reports then go come out, I should say His Excellency the President and government go look at within the contents and the recommendation, and then also see how capable for implementing some of them. But I also say this, because somehow for some, the critics them, it's easy for you for latch on to within the negativity in some of their reports then they. International Community Day, not only Salon, and then there are plenty of other countries around the world, EU and all the rest of them. They get working relationship with every nation state where they defend themselves. They are partnering. It will be a relationship of mutual respect and decorum. And they also understand, as in their relationship with other nation states, say, then always they agree. So this is not a novelty, not unique. There will be disagreements. Does it mean the relationship they need to scatter? No. They will continue to be here beyond this government, right, into the next government, into another government. And we will continue to forget the partnership, right? Not because probably there may be slight variations in terms of perspective and how we see things. That means sometimes will it fall apart? No. We welcome their contribution, right? We would note whatever things they bring forward, and as long as it's in the interest of the country, in democracy, right, freedoms and all that, and for make elections then better, then definitely I don't think so we'll hesitate for looking to them and say, okay, before adopt some of them best practices then they.
Okay, so on AYV News, the front page actually get African ambassadors to Sierra Leone pledge support, congratulates President Bio on his re-election. President Putin congratulates President Bio on his re-election. And we also don't see other few Africans, African leaders and from across the send congratulatory message to the president. Is that, first of waiting and congratulatory message then they mean, is it something every other person for look forward to, and if you're not able to get if you not get these messages, does it mean, just tell me what it mean?
Well, it means say you don't go through an elections, and largely the perception of that the elections and they feel fair and credible, and the people that don't re-elect you again. That is why, I mean, almost all them countries then they well, if not all them countries, then they come up not democratic countries then. So then they congratulate another democratic country in terms of the outcome. Yes, there are issues. I mean, Ghana, when Ghana have the whole elections now, you will see report after report, they talk about issues and this and that and that. But it was a democratic process where people then get the opportunity for go vote, and there was an outcome. And the outcome then the people largely for accept them. If you have any issues as provided for by law, you can challenge them through constitutional means, meaning go to courts. And so therefore, for me, it's a seal of approval. It shows His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, is respected, right, by peers in the continent, in the sub-region, and in the world. Now that makes you see congratulatory messages. They come up from as far as Turkey and Russia for congratulate on a hard-won victory. You know, but His Excellency the President is looking forward now. How for bring people together, how for unite this country. You see in the acceptance speech, they extend olive branch to Dr. Samura Kamara and other political party leaders. Them and say, I mean, una calm. This is about development now. Election don't dawn. It was spirited. It was passionate. It was full of energy. We may have said things that probably, you know, on the spur of their moments, and they just for make sure so you get their votes. And but that is done now. It bien we. We as political leaders, then we as politicians, then now we owe on to the rest of the nation, this society, for come together. And President Biodo already extended all the branches indeed. Right? And National Peace and Cohesion Commission, themselves, they do their own work on the corner for make sure say how we heal this society, to heal this nation. If you go around town now, Western area, Freetown, you go see business don't they come back. Go then Kissy Street, Kissy Road. Now it's just say people just want to forget on with their lives. So go sell their markets, make her at the end of the day, come back the next day, and all of that. That's the spirit that President Bio wants. Let us move on. Let us talk about development now. Elections, not they come back until 2028. Every political party, right, will get an opportunity then for go contest, and let it be a contest of ideas and the direction we need for take this country to. But until then, we should be talking about bringing the country together and development.
And on the exclusive newspaper, I say, let's go back to work, President Bio. And he say, President Julius Maada Bio has, during his swearing-in ceremony at the House of Parliament on Tower Hill recently, called on all Sierra Leoneans to get back to work following his re-election for second term in office. President Bio made a passionate appeal while pledging his commitment to form an inclusive government that will take development a giant leap forward. The First Gentleman further noted that the June 24 general elections have come to a peaceful and successful end and therefore called on all Sierra Leoneans to join hands with him in a bid to see his administration continue the developmental projects he started during his first 5-year mandate. According to President Bio, his government is stretching out an olive branch to his compatriot, the leader of the main opposition All People's Congress APC, Dr. Samoa Kamara, and that his government has already started the healing and reconciliation process in the country after the main opposition APC rejected the outcome of the elections results. So now to the ordinary Sierra Leoneans as well, this call for actually come together, how important it is, and as well how you feel say we go able to get all Sierra Leoneans on board for actually move on.
Well, as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, you get for set the tone. You also get for set the direction. How you want people for move forward, right, and look at the elections, but then be peaceful. Don't forget, as with the lead up to polling day on the 24th, President will encourage people and say, go vote Saful. When you come and vote Saful, go sit down at your host Saful. Sit down at your host Saful, wait for the results Saful. You either announce a win, like they're 27 and 26-year-old one, that we don't go parliament now. He advised all man say, let's celebrate Saful. Celebrate Saful, not ambogi comping. Understand, say, for the one that we lost, you're supposed to also extend the hand out to them now. Say, look, this is about Sierra Leone. Everybody in the end win. Whether you vote for President Bio, you vote for Samoa Kamara, whether not just Maga, you vote for now. Everybody in the end win. President Bio say he's ready for be a president for every Sierra Leonean then, including the one that don't vote for. And that make, you know, the beauty about democracy, not that it's going to call secret ballot. You will go vote so now. I'm sure you voted on that day. Nobody don't know that you vote for. Nobody not get any interest. Pastor tell you and the one that now also now we sit there and get a conversation in there. Because when you go into that ballot box, some small corner there, no so, and then you go to the whole ballot paper you take. That's a conversation where it left to you now forget out anybody as to which you plan for do. Nobody's interested, nobody wants to know. So as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, once you don't take that oath of office, you don't become president. You now get a responsibility for govern. For every single Sierra Leonean. Because you said, no, that vote for you, or that not vote for you. You only know say you don't turn President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and that the majority of Sierra Leoneans vote for you. So watch your President be the top of free quality education. You not pick and choose. Not to bond stew, no more or Moamba, bond. Go Makeni. When we buy school buses them in the first term, every local council Lengia, say owner take ownership of them bus them for picking there. So if you go to Bombali district in Makeni, a place where I have a lot of family members, now Mayor Sunkari, where me did and put the bus in my hand. Same for Potloko, same for Cambia. That was controlled by NGC. That should be the spirit, bringing people together. His Excellency the President don't begin to reach out. You see traditional leaders, they don't come. Paramountries, they don't come. Tribal heads, they don't go to Ram. It's a una custodian of una people in them various communities. I tell una thank you for una come meet me and say una can congratulate me, but me say also they give una message. Una go help for bring peace and stability now in various communities then, because if all man do in a young community, naturally you don't do it for the country and you go for hold the country together. That should be the spirit, right? His Excellency the President could make sure say he continue for lead and show exemplary leadership for bring this country together and allow able for development Masalom.
Okay, and on the Standard Times newspaper, we get APC will not go to court, SecGen reveals. The All People's Congress APC party has revealed through its National Secretary General, Lansana Dumbia, that the party shall not go to court over the disputed 24th June 2023 polls because the APC has had a recurrent of bad experience relating to the lack of impartiality and competence of the Sierra Leone Judiciary to provide redress for violations of electoral laws, processes, and mandates. So, you know, even during the elections period and after, even when international observers, they actually would say, if you have people who are aggrieved as well, they can go to the courts for actually, or then give them the way and manner for seek redress from any grievance from the elections. And on Monday, we actually see a press release from the APC say they no go court and throw some challenges to the judiciary. Yesterday, we see a reply from the judiciary with regards their stance against the position taken by the All People's Congress Party. What do you actually get for say about this?
So, and this is not only about the Sierra Leonean judiciary. I don't know of any country where anybody they go test the law and then get the outcome we want. You feel happy and excited. And I will give you two instances. There is the Roe v. Wade. I don't know if you know anything about that in the United States, where give women the rights. That has been overturned by the Supreme Court. Everybody they're up in arms. It is now a political issue. For the one that way, overturning of Roe v. Wade, for them they feel say it's an attack on democracy, it's an attack on their liberties and freedoms and all of them seen in it. But that's the court that they have in the United States. You have to continue to test it. I say we have a judiciary. You don't get no other place again for go. Right? This is a judiciary where over 5 years don't also make sure say they get magistrate in every single district. Judges then they apply now, located, and they then reside. The number of turnover, if you go on the website, you watch them data, they're turning over a lot of cases. They now means that they bring a lot of cases to conclusion and give judgments and all of that. It's a lot better, right, than it been look like at a certain point in time. So they're making progress, but you just have to put them to test. I just think, say, again, I don't want to look backwards because APC seem forget all the explanations in the world. The only thing that they don't do, they have not done yet, is to look internally. Then they blame everything and anything they can come across, right? So they talk about it, no, they blame that, no, they blame that. But themselves, internally, how did they get to this point where they're ending up for loss and elections? They were disunited. Now, yeah, we all did. We not cover them programs in day. 1 week to election, or 4 or 5 days to election, and it talks election on the rights. No, so? It was coming from APC. Mixed messages. In politics, if you don't begin to give mixed messages, you flip-flop, you talk this today, you talk that tomorrow, you support that and say no nothing for though. Sani Abacha Street na ya. On that day, then sit down in the dance na Sani Abacha Street. Then say election on the right again. What's on Apple and say APC don't say? Who not apply for vote for APC now? Now they talk the election on the right Saturday. Well, APC is losing out too because of their votes. So they have to look internally, right? We don't see a few of them. Sylvia Olain Kablaide, doctor. We don't see Alfred Peter Conteh. When I've been a former interim leader, don't they ask, say, let us look internally. Alfred Peter Conteh, don't say, this is a missed opportunity. He knew APC were going to lose. And I'm party, he be the leader at some point. So I think, say, you can blame every single institution you can come across in the world and blame the one and say, oh, no, they exist. But until you look internally, you won't get it right. So that is what I think that we all need to do as politicians that belong to political parties. Look internally and then look forward.
Okay, and on Standard Times newspaper, we get one uphold symposium on peace. West African Network for Peace Building. We're actually being joined together with 50-50 women called Marketuman associations, and also we don't see the Independence Commission for Peace as well. Don't call Sierra Leoneans in together for actually sit down and talk about peace as we go post-election era at the moment. So now, finally, as we wrap up, as Tem done the left way. What you and how you think, say, we as Salon people and for actually continue for moving after the elections period, as we all they crave and call, say, we still want peace and we still want the country for move forward? I'll
go only re-echo. This could be a very short answer. Re-echo the sentiments of President Bill. Saful. Anything anybody they do not let do and saful. You come out saful. When you ready for go na your school, na your saful. Where they eat saful. You go to your party then do and saful. All two they do now these 5 years na saful. Now in no more president in the Agba. You can get a lot of development agenda them, right? Make sure say plot the path for we get the technical we then call and all that and And Usai want for take with to another 5 years. But everything else, I see President don't talk and so now that not there at the end on. Na safu. But you party say now they tell her they say safu, na small.
Okay. Plenty, thank you, Imran. So this now we will actually bring the curtain down for today's show. You don't watch front page here na AYV channel 33 and also listen to we on radio 101.7 FM and also now we mobile app. I want to thank you to my guest today for way grace this show and also plenty thank you to my producer there, Mohammed Ramin Bania and Edima Conteh, and to the rest of the technical team. My name is Elizabeth Momo. Before I go, remember say anything where you know read na newspaper, what you know watch na television or you hear na radio, cross check before you believe her. Many thanks for listening and stay tuned.
Your Excellency, President for the Republic of Sierra Leone, our Vice President, Chief Minister, with other ministers, we deal with the President, and they are at the stand with all existing protocols. Today we there for congratulate the President for this election. We don't go through in executive for the rerun of the election. We don't go through in 24th June 2023. And that make me His Excellency Driver's Union very strongly. We sit down with all our work and make sure we all work hard to make we achieve the goal there. The goal was to make you win the election. There's certain people they really help us. The Vice President Mr. Bakoli, Western Area Executive there. All go there. 37 units in Western Area. All go. He called Mr. Gento, he called the Deputy Minister of Energy, Wade Waterloo. We can't sit down and talk. We plan how to distribute Muskadem and then campaign within the Western area, Western Rural and Western. Tell the people after that, we see, of course, me and the show you see now, that man we do by and we the Harana, when I see Donna who's this, that, then you know. Nobody never call us here when I sit down and host them people as well. We said don't have the secret. And that secret name, we said don't have ya. Where hala yanda, we said the hala now. We need to. Government, you want them always have me dependent and they don't tell them see you now. Today, say we don't select people that don't. But I make one call this morning. They say, they don't taxi, they don't get you say nothing again. Nobody knows can tell you say that you don't know. And we there behind you, this union there behind you, for make sure say this re-election we don't win. These 5 years, we don't start so. Actualize all you dream them, all what you want to do. This union, they tell you thank you for one thing. Developmental strides the way they put. Won't talk about roads. inside future, first this PC road, traffic the jam is only 2-3 hours. But now, no traffic na PC road, mean bypass road, today, looking more about money under first Mr. Ba, this road for Gumamba, Iba. They will gather and no more they go now, we know they get passenger again. Now from where they that road, they reach Mamba. For that they call me this. Because now car in the run for Gumamba, taxi in the run, the road don't go. We tell you thank you for that. When you come go, the boat in there, then they go change them up. First time, we reach na Zimi, the balance road, so much car them in the car Zimi, that didn't stop. But with your leadership, we can don't make sure say they don't actualize that road. That road don't need to now much car they come aboard, which in a twinkle of an eye, I don't reach Morovia, I don't come back home. We don't use our pockets there now because we want to go direct one for the day. Now we take care of them. We don't get more to the salary, and you don't care. You don't put money in our pocket. Now when I go Lunge, this theater we get hotel taxi drivers. When we go Lunge, they go show me the car park. We call it in, we taxi drivers in Lunge, they take me and walk out, I walk inside the airport. I never see that airport. That's in there, and I'm in first tenant for going inside and claim that lift, they go right up. Where we can go, we talk to one executive in the airport, they will show me the car park. I said, wow. We sell don't need the next one now. We tell you thank you because now you they make, we they go see that kind in a day. That kind of infrastructure and their office is any of them country yourself. The other thing, one child go Conakry. I made them fire go. So I go Lord and one hotel. Hold it in the fire. I said, me country not to say it. So I go back. Now one night I take the other day, I tell them I say me and go back. Because they are not hearing gun sound. Then me go Conakry, I go sleep now and get stuck. Now I hotel. Hold it and hearing gun sound at the back. The pitch where they I know there's no silence. And then you leadership. Now you leadership. Now the first time I see election day, they give me observer card, chess. Me say no observer. Yeah, I did talk. I did say well, tomorrow I see now make no restriction on you. Tell him man another one. Very morning, I minister called me. Say nothing but car. I say, hey, now call me chairman there. Quick, people don't begin to see taxi them and see. Buddha, they don't begin on. And when they see that kind of thing, that quick tell me they see taxi, they take people there from here to the other side and go vote, command and Canada, the other. Partner, you leadership. May God bless you for that. I cannot tell you guys, the security we don't put in place in this country. And if you say that this West Africa will get time. One man day back, we now a very strong man. We now able to Satawan. Now one day, one morning, he called me and said, Mr. Bar. He said, I never say 11, 12 for slide. Now, I said, I don't know. We go on the rampage, every Monday. We start with television, we go to radio, then we go now. The secret will be this is where we say, no, so Monday, they are among we, and the other side again. As the Mahala Yanda, they take an they meet a letter, no, tomorrow. God send them in. Which are passed to the one a day. Teach them can hear this. From that same day, teach steady. When they say class down, we just sit down. You know the world. We set up a team for sensitization. We dey go back to people that fit on here. That is the problem. The upline, they don't get one problem. You don't go carry them and say back because they go beat you. You don't come boy, you say that to them. No, you know the world. So, by the thing you say, that secret, who don't say that? What's the class now? Who is class? Who is class? Because people that in there, when they want in there, the people that way they your habit, now who say no more halala they follow and they didn't get. And this millions are, I know say this will next 5 years in this. Now, bam! Follow the peace. Me from one win election, go to election. 2019. Not also gentlemen. Yes, sir. 20 guys didn't call for that same election. They say election is fine. We don't change 5 judges. Now we get to 1 justice. Original judge name. We go there to Justice Bao. Wandering election. We go court to court, judge to 5 years. One now this time here, make it help we let peace Canada. When she done married Gladys, so tell me now which na anybody will link to be small, the most calorie go look for fire. We self na anybody will he get small link with New London, you know the link. That's it. This you don't go find. Before that, make me beer. I go bow, I want to settle the thing. And then go tell me, say, we don't bring talk there for conflicts now. They arrest me. They're going to tell me, but the police says the kind of crowd we see. Nice, Mr. Bag, go, not see, not go, freedom. I go. Because this is a you don't begin frame, no problem, no happy, no they arrest me. Because if problem be happy, no go, we don't be for fun. So, I can't again me say, look, gentlemen, me almost got a force and sell them. I sell me too much, got a very long time. No one problem. Call somebody, they go talk about, then you see now. Now that make these streets are, we don't team up. Do your part, make love them. The part of talk box, Honorable Musa Tawali this so. That one day, that strategies. Sabi, this country, better. And you know, who that is Sabi this country? Me not part of her, because I work with MPRC. I'm an officer. Now we count democracy in this country. I will go with you. Now we count democracy. We come on in. When Baka, who walk? We have advantage them. I mean, we go for help. We tell what we go. Now we go campaign. We have this advantage them. We know you. So we don't. We talk to Pakaba. We tell we will brother they come. We should be lost. I go back now because I'm going to run again. They don't have me. Then why they go? Musa Tawali go they say now. They go appoint a resident minister. They bring me come. They say, "Kalo go. I didn't make you go open a feature. Bring me kind of feature and say, go join that." I can't be there. It protects me throughout. The elections I work till we achieve the goal. Today, again, it's a big goal. And today, That strike, you don't know. Thank you. We are there to development. We there you. We there with you. This union, we will make sure see anything we want call upon we will do. What the vice president will do, all chairman there, they say Mr. Bar, any district, the chairman there will go work with them. And we make sure say each district, every time you go, we call the executive, I call the chairman where they we lead them supply the motor. All the chairman that went order this in the Osami. We go put local, and what is it? Put young. Not to soldier 60 months ago, nobody wants it. Now we provide fear now being the car. No, for Alpha, APC, this part, they ain't get that picky with you, the council. We take 23 vehicles from Jamba Sewa, take all that surround the area. We bring them. Now we be real the one day. I work out you right on this country. If you see I don't go, I don't say Yanda, we don't settle down. So, it's humanity time too much. This now God don't give you back. Do you have power? Don't forget you. Probably buy books for you. Don't so gentlemen. We serve. We want to help free low get some side with the lean. Then this iron project, because this iron project we are part of it. But we are help the municipal and get much. Because if government get you much, we have a class and government don't put you much. Somebody know Latin, people are the only way that. We are now we don't get certain people then, when they self get much, they mean they coordinate. As they make bam yonder the one part, and they go to them and don't call them to put them. So what is the class yonder? You don't know. You know they work again. Then I make us say, what is it happy? You don't ever happy like that again. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President with small p. So now, for the chief driver, national chief driver. Aha! His Excellency the President.
Honorable Vice President, Chief Minister, all protocols observed, and we drivers them. Machine, power! Machine, power! I'm glad you for meeting at this time of the year, soon after election, and I'm glad you for receiving her because when they play an important role in this country, we will all recognize and acknowledge. For making a grab today, say when they can congratulate me, I want to tell them, say I deeply appreciate that, and that make within this time. The work they do is so important that we will not stop for work for 1 minute with the know. As the president, I want to tell you plenty thank you. I want for make una know say una matter in our society and that we appreciate the work we want to do. So I take this occasion as a big occasion because una way they move una way they move the economy, una way they make things that they happen. Una can congratulate me after this election. And listening to the una president, they don't give assurances to we, the government and the people of this country, for saying no ambogi no go dey for the transportation. I want for assure una say we self will do everything we will make una work easy and make una work profitable. Because transportation is a whole sector with so paramount. No economy not they move in the world without transportation. Nothing not they happen without transportation. So when I occupy, when I then a sector which so important that we no go left una no more for make una the fit for una self. We serve as government. All them things that we do, we try to get new and better roads, bridges, now for make una work easier and make una work profitable, because now a lot of investment when they do for make una work easy in that sector there. Where you get good roads, the motoka idite. You get very little for spend on spares, tires, and most other things there. If you sabi take care of engine, it will carry go far. Now so you go take money, you get money and profit. But if you get motoka all day, you dey change the shock absorber, you dey change the tire, you dey spend more per the motoka, then what you get for carry go home for take care of the people there. So what you see with the it's very expensive for make roads there. Now, millions of dollars, any one roadway they make. But it's necessary because we know say, one, it make life easy for everybody, but we not waiting at that sector, we not your direct life depend on them, we are not able to live. And so many people they do, and we have plenty. So all the effort we make for get good roads there, for link towns, cities, regions, now for make sure say we not make profits, we not able to contribute to the economic activities of this country. We not for transport people and goods and other things there, and help you with other services. So for me, we not rub we back, we say we rub we back. We did different roads there. We don't finish some of the roads then. We get bridges then where we try for construct. All we said then ferry then day. By the time we left government, we don't have no ferry in this country. All types of we don't begin change them. The one at Senel, number two, the one at Manoa, Nakailang, another one the north, Tompare, and then Boajibo. We don't commission them on the day, then they make them. In less than 2 years, we will get more than bridges here and there. We forget about ferry then. The other side, we side the ferry then still there, mostly na the north. Carrying, I think, yes, carrying more a lot of bridges there. Then maybe Cambia. We dey work on them one day for make sure say all of them turn to bridges. Today, I see when I come, but I don't see women there. I don't see them talk. I see them, but when I don't make reference to them, I two women I don't want to see. And when I don't say we did by gender policy, you know, so we say woman there for the day, we say man the day. When I bring two women there, when I hide them here and there, and they catch yourself when I make us see them. Then a part of driver senior, when I make them talk. Okay. Now the big thing now they again what they do. We're not for the frown, we're not for the vex say woman they won't come before. God, now in Now, women they plenty in this country pass way. Now you know why you make them plenty pass way. So that means the same message to you. For make if them plenty pass way, why would not for make them help with and the thing they what they do? We don't put on our head say they're not able to do plenty things they what they do. But it's not true. They're able to do plenty things there. Women then sometimes they can drive past some man then also. But when I give them when I was carrying. When I want the answer, but nobody they give. We should say, you know, they give a woman driver. Yes. They're more careful. Now we can drive rough. In fact, now it's one country where they buy motor car for, they use vehicle. Now for fair one way, them and me then, they don't drive. Now new vehicle, now you get. But those that use one, a new one. But then young boy, if they buy their motor car, now garage they go straight. So down the back now, we will not self get for embrace. Talking about peace inside the union, I go left down the vice president and the chief minister. When they talk about national cohesion and peace, we for make sure say it is within the sectors that we will operate. Because you know, we all, now one thing we want for Salon, make Salon go before. But one thing we will not forget, as we all want make Salon go before, some people they will not believe in that. Always, like the example where when a president talk about posting the way they under, it's safe, nothing on the drum, they eat, they don't have fine place, they get everything. The grace where I see, now where it tell people they say, when I go born, when I go kill this other person, when I go burn their property, then I am. You don't know who that grace they transfer from until they want the Naya. When they grab, some they go die for that process, then lock them in prison. Because we know they allow that one day. Everybody forgot about in business. People that defend their Lily and Natty for go feed their family. They say today, they're not for come out. If you come out, they're for wait yourself. Anytime when they talk that one day, we get law enforcement. Nobody not for touch you. You, not to me they buy fear for you, not to me buy you motorcar for you. Now they get your money for leave, for feed the family, for take care of them. Why somebody for sit down on the other side? Waiting bad for all of this. Now when a big people then in this country they support that kind of person. Me now in there. And that one day, anytime I talk about her, the vex because I'm not going to hide that feeling. For saying, you know they do paying one. In fact, then they finance them for do that. And then people are supposed to be responsible members. They're supposed to be fathers to this nation. They're supposed for the help. If not for nothing, men no halala no day. Where halala no day? Even the poorest man, if we able to go find in Lily and nothing and eat, at least men not go to bed the angry one. But when you make all man they hide, you will not go buy quick. That fair, you know they make investment the Canada. Investment no go come. Every 2-3 days, you see them put side and they burn them. Like the last year, August 10. The way we feel. Because it's like they make your woman look fine. So that the whole world will want them. The whole world will want Canada for can invest. They see somebody, then come then they can't throw away my all kinds of people for me does see. Me not be able to give you all work. I'm not going to buy motorcar for you all. I'm not going to do everything. Wait, they limit them to which government they help on. But if peace day and what government can do, it do them, the roads there and other support systems them for una defend them from una self. No one can beg. Nobody know left for beg. But then if we get the opportunity, the conducive atmosphere, for me go about in business. If you want for take loan, we for help and for me get loan, for me get to see one forget. But when you create that fear, intention, then you make people they know they achieve their potential. So we dey work for make sure say when I did together, No conflict, no for the, when I get on your own systems, how when they elect, how when they govern, when I self, when I get on your own constitution, not so. We own business now for make sure say when I keep to that. So I will left hand and give the Vice President and the Chief Minister for Meden will report to me later on say this court business if we're done by now. Why we do for all of this, when you give accolade to the government for what we don't do? Yes, for make development the any side, peace for the force. When peace day, nobody, like I say, not you glad you want, but they go and pass and big, or go to this other one. Everybody want to go further for himself. We own business now for create that enabling environment. So the peace, we done the work very hard with all the security sector for make sure that everybody gets their own peace. And from where we come, we don't move up the ladder. Today, they say the whole of West Africa, the one day where they observe, and the great country there, say Sierra Leone, now the most peaceful country in West Africa. When are the third most peaceful, now the whole of Africa, third most peaceful, now the whole of Africa. Why? Because you know the council no more. We self get for like we self. We as a government, plenty thing and then we can blame we because if we react the way we not expect you for react, it will make sure say peace not in there. When you know daddy, you know what they do. Sometimes they person they do, you begin they do bad. You call them, you talk to them. So they say, I elect this way, or in no one for take action. But if they look at the general, the bigger picture, and say, make you set your father one day and make you not go to the full extent. But that one day when they make the whole country afraid. Not a terrorism. We make huge number of people there. They're afraid for come out or do something. Not terrorism. Now some people they differ. And we don't say anybody who catch father one day, the full extent of the law will go. So we want, especially the work when they do back, make when I self join with Pada one day. When they get plenty information, when I know plenty things there. I'm happy with the move by the president for pool the one day where they instill fear. But we will also stand up as a union. Now me one key talk for a day by plenty people that are afraid. And me woman, when I for talk. Now yeah we did. Now young who signed Sidoy under everything. They get the protection. Then they say when I begin there. It is disturbing our life. As a union, national union, when I for talk, the height not talk. Again, make the world not say not to be no more government because they want to reduce on the politics. But a person like that will not able to take care of himself. I say if you not say you know man can alone. When the people they send and the people they pay from here, that's not the most disturbing part of it. And these are people where God don't make the don't map for this country. And where they suppose whether at Timabnaya and not Timabnaya as president, where God bring me Kanaya an older obligation to each and every one of them for protecting her till I die. Anything where they bring shame and bugging to this country, not obligation. That thing, the one that when a Muslim, that they hold the Bible, they hold the Quran, we they hold the Bible, not a small sweater one day. So people can forget that if you say now just, then give you that book that you hold up. Say, I swear, say, I will do the best thing there for this country in the best interest and security. Me, I don't take and treat them, so I know they forget. I know they forget. And also, na big swear that one day, that before God and man, nine at one. And therefore, whether are they sleep, whether are they awake, whether are jack, whether are they dream, everything now God now they give you that responsibility. And not to Almighty give. You say you get 8 million people, they give you that responsibility, you for take hold on with 2 hands. Now that's 9 million they do. Unfortunately for me, when I be youth man in this country, I don't lead this country. When the president they talk, they ask me if I remember. I don't know. Now you know the member say, me the member. I don't sabi you for MPRC, they ask me for the member. We don't lead this country. As a young man, the decision we have been made that Sunday, they make we get peace today. I see some with money they jump, they say that democracy. What we get one now, they don't come. If we get peace now today, na meet them up before that one day. That's all left we will know that one day. The so-called Western countries, they left with for fried. Now me, as you mean I be youth man, now me grab as say for this and call they say no they na fake one the fake one one day in power. Where I say big to money too, they say one for stay in power. I keep me word. Now that make not to maybe finish the peace process. But now me go find some cop and pull on a bush and put on down. But because I be not saying that 3 months no more go in a airport, I still keep me word and not sit down for talk peace with them. I say I go hand over because I not one go beyond my own word where I don't say. We all know where APC be don't squander democracy in this country. Now be one party, you know, so we vote say we tire. Gonna one person they vote for. Now one party. Now being we take and where say we now God give you the strength that same day and the sense and the mind for come pull there and bring democracy. The democracy takes the no like them. The only elect can wait and get elected. If you not elect them, they don't elect them. And the same attitude will be today. The same commission will be declared the winners. The same process will be used for declare the winners. They say that process they wrong this time. They go join some foolish people then for Conteh we say we for change the system. We for go against our own constitution. Not to me they conduct election. Not to me they describe the processes by which election they go on. Tabulation, tallying, this process and that process. All day. Now see the way they write. We all be part of that process. If you been say that process they wrong, before election they say no, me not like and so. Not the way election happen now, you say, you have been part of the process. They say, no, not to say for they. According to we, they when they go join people there for Hamburg in this country. The same thing. The same attitude no more who don't see. If fine for mess salon people they know say, some people not good for this country. Some party not good for this country. So we must talk down as how we see them. And then they join other people there. What they make out of 192 countries, 188 vote for Gona, the United Nations Security Council. Now, out of respect, out of which they don't see where would they drink size alone in the past 5 years. Now that make 192, now 188 vote for we. They say the United Nations Security Council, when we talk about the United Nations, now the most powerful organ, you get the permanent members, you get the non-permanent members. We they go as a non-permanent member. See radio. That they should say, in the past 5 years, we don't make the international world, other countries, they don't respect we. They say when they govern fine. Then they take money, they give it. Where COVID day, COVID killed about 7 million people around the world. The number we died now don't reach 200. Where Ebola become? Now 3,000 more, no so? Then they eat the money and have that, no so? Where Salon people, some people, they're not a member. Now make can say they're not a vote for themselves. You get government where they take care of you, take care of the kingdom. If they do all of this, it make you get respect. When time comes, not vote for other people, not vote for SLPP, vote for the respect we want to get. Vote for you begin the way they go school, and they get for come better you. The people there, now still single in the white, they will vote for that one day. And the bad side and the way you on this side, they say, now you know the papa for all, and me, from the time we are young, God give me that blessing for tomorrow before now. I owe in that responsibility. If I'm not waiting correct, God will say, you not been doing me work fine. I put you in charge of them one day, you not correct them. Waiting me see correct, I go talk them. If you like them, you take them. If you not like them, you not take them. But just like the Imam there, when they give kutuba, not for me, all man take them. So man, there is the way come on and do it, begin cost the Imam. But I will talk. This country we able to make them. We able to catch up with the rest of the world and make a tell now. Not so other person get for make a move. Anybody where they come and let that money come with, you know what they get out of that money. The way we don't go overseas, we don't live with them, we don't go to school with them. We know the world. We don't come back. Nobody know they make you country, now you they make them. If you follow them, you know they ever go before. In these 5 short years, when I see how we don't move the education business, to the point where United Nations want for talk about education, they say when I go salon. To the point where they want to talk about maternal mortality rate reduction in the world, they say Salon are the only country where reduce maternal mortality by 60% in 5 years. That's not a small achievement where you know what things happen around the world. So we will be proud. Say, all the blabber, all the trouble within the world, we provide an enclave where we able to achieve, of peace, where we able to achieve plenty things there. Where our country then dream of oneself. The British Minister for Africa, he came one day, when they present him with a list of things that we don't do, where he said go around, he said, I'm not going to talk nothing. He said, because me not be this in 4 years, because less than 5 years, you don't able to do all of the things there. Inside your country. So when you get some individuals, the way they try for create that, which is because of personal, sometimes monetary reasons, then you get for smart up, you get for wise up, and do the right thing for your own country. Nobody not going to make care. So I want peace for the union. Again, through the Honorable Vice President and the Chief Minister, we can work for see what you can able to do for Epona. What you will be able to do for Epona. Because now that na government in your work will help everybody. We not be able to do everything we want, but we be able to do anything that we will not say will be on for make sure say we not feel but make we make we stakeholders in the governance of this country. So, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the executive. Thank you to the union for we will not take on our time today. For congratulations. Thank you.